Good noon, everyone, and welcome back to Data Structures Theory Sessions. Yesterday, we started our second unit, Linear Data Structure and their Representation, and inside that, as you all know, we need to go for array, stack, queue, and linked list. We discussed these data structures a little bit, how it looks and how it works, right? And then we jumped into the array. Inside the array, we started with basic understanding how we can declare array, what we need to keep in our mind when we are going for array declaration, variable name, size, data type. Size need to be constant always. It is a contiguous memory allocation and linear data structure. How memory will be allocated, how you can assign elements at the time of declaration, and how we can pass array to the function. Whenever we pass array to the function, it is called by reference. We simply write array name as a parameter, and it is going to send address of 0th element, right? And we were discussing function prototype. That's where we stopped, right? So I was talking about when we pass array as a parameter, then on the other hand, when you define your function or when you declare your function, look, function prototype is function declaration. Function definition will have function header and function body. I believe you know that. So function prototype and function header will look almost similar, right? Now this is a function prototype where we write the return type of the function, void, then the function name, whatever function name you want to provide, it can be anything, must follow identifier rules, right? And then the parameter list, all the parameters that you want to pass. So this is where we need to define whatever parameter is of array type. So when you pass an array, you need to catch that array here. And how do we indicate that this parameter is array? By just having square bracket here, okay? When you do that square bracket, compiler and executor is going to represent or is going to consider this parameter as an array. Now we need not to give any size, because when we pass parameter, okay, when we pass parameter, it is actual parameter, and here this b in a prototype is a formal parameter, okay? Function call actual and formal parameters. Formal parameter declaration is always going to receive values from actual parameters. तो फॉर्मल पैरामीटर को डिक्लेयर किया और साथ में एक्चुअल पैरामीटर से उसको इनिशियलाइज किया. So now we all know that at the time of declaration, if you assign some value, then there is no need of defining size, correct? And that's the benefit we are using when we define parameter in function. So we need not to define size here. It can be simple square bracket. Size will be automatically considered from the actual parameter. आपने जो array पास किया है उसकी size यहाँ पे automatically collect हो जाएगी. And inside a prototype, you even need not to write variable name. You can simply have int square bracket, because it is a prototype. Remember, in a prototype, you may omit variable names. But in function header, you have to write variable name. So जब आप function declare करते हो, variable का नाम नहीं लिखोगे तो चलेगा, data type compulsory है. और जब आप function define करते हो तो header के अंदर variable का नाम लिखना पड़ेगा, because using that variable name we will access all those values. So that's one more difference between prototype and header. Okay. So this is how we handle arrays. We pass array to the function and all, right? Now let's have a look at few operations on 1D array, a one-dimensional array. We will be going through these operations, and at this place we will be only considering one-dimensional array, 1D array. So the basic operation is traversal. Whether it is 1D, 2D or multi-dimensional array, doesn't matter. Whenever you want to access elements from the array, you are going to traverse it. अगर हर एक एलिमेंट को एक्सेस करना है one by one, then you have to traverse that array. That entire process is called traversal process. We are going to traverse it. Now once you traverse, or once you know how to traverse, and once you have that element, तो फिर उस एलिमेंट के साथ आपको जो करना है करो. एक बार वो एलिमेंट आपको मिल गया, you can do whatever you want. That means once you know how to traverse, you can search, you can sum it up, you can find maximum, you can find minimum, you can find average, you can update it, you can add, you can delete, anything that you want, you can perform. So the very first and very basic operation is the traversal process. अगर ट्रावर्स करना सीख लिया तो आप सर्च कर सकते हो, इंसर्ट, डिलीट, मर्ज, कुछ भी कर सकते हो, राइट? सो विल स्टार्ट विथ ट्रावर्सल प्रोसेस फर्स्ट. व्हाट इज ट्रावर्सल? Traversing an array is nothing but accessing all the elements one by one. Simply you are going to access those elements in a linear manner because this is a linear data structure. So let's say we have an array, capital A. Now if it is an array, definitely it is going to have homogeneous data inside, and all those elements we are going to access. Now when we access it, what we do is, if we traverse, we can print, we can count, we can perform any of the processes that we want. So right now, forget about printing, counting, doing any process. Focus on traversing, how we can traverse. And this is how we can traverse entire array. Now this is just an algorithm, which is a generalized process. And that's why what we do is we start from the lower bound and we go up to upper bound. Now this lower bound and upper bound may change. अगर आप पूरा एरे ट्रावर्स करना चाहते हो तो प्रोग्राम के अंदर लोअर बाउंड हो जाएगा 0 इंडेक्स वैल्यू, एंड अपर बाउंड आपके लिए हो जाएगा साइज -1, राइट? सो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 0 up to size -1, we are going to traverse it. Now this is a generalized process. That's why we do not write 0 and size -1. Maybe in some case, मान लो कि आप आधा एरे ट्रावर्स करना चाहते हो. Well, in that case, lower bound will be 0, upper bound will be size divided by 2. Maybe in some case you want to traverse second half of the array. Well, in that case, lower bound आपका हो जाएगा size divided by 2 and upper bound आपका हो जाएगा size -1. So that's how you can assign proper values to lower bound and upper bound here. But that is not going to affect this entire process. ये algorithm जो है वो same रहेगा, no change in that, right? So let's focus now. We want to traverse entire array starting from lower bound up to the upper bound, और एक एक करके एलिमेंट एक्सेस करने हैं. देन यू ऑल नो कि आप एक फॉर लूप लिख देते हो. जब भी आप लूप लिखते हो, यू हैव अ लूप कंट्रोल वेरिएबल i. दैट i इज नथिंग बट इटरेशन काउंट. इटरेशन, आइटरेशन, जैसे भी आप प्रोनाउंस करो, इट्स ओके. So let's have ITR here. ITR will start from lower bound, and we are going to repeat some process until ITR reach up to the upper bound. So we are going to repeat while ITR is less than or equals to upper bound. And we are going to update that ITR every time. I plus plus. Similarly here, ITR plus plus. Now when this condition becomes false, you are going to terminate your loop. So end of the loop. And you exit your program. You are done. So within this loop, within this iteration, what we do, we access element from the array. So A of ITR, A square bracket ITR, that's the element we access from the array. अब एक बार आपको element मिल गया, then you can do whatever you want. Apply any of the process you want. Okay? So that's how we perform this iteration. But whenever you are writing your algorithm, do not specify these steps. पहले से ये steps मत लिखो. You go for the entire algorithm, define all the steps, and then come back and write these numbers. Which are the steps you are going to repeat? So जब ये पूरा खत्म हो जाए तब मुझे पता चलेगा, okay, I'm going to repeat step number 3 and step number 4. So I'll come back and I will write these two steps here. कुछ इस तरह से algorithm लिखिए तो गलत नहीं पड़ेगा. ठीक है? So now we can say, okay, we are going to repeat step number 3 and 4 while ITR is less than or equals to upper bound. And in that process, I'm going to access A of ITR element. And every time I'll increase the ITR. When my condition becomes false, I will terminate my loop and I will end my algorithm also. Yeah, what's your question? When we are writing algorithms, it is a generalized process. It is not specific to program. Look, we say size minus 1 because we are talking about program, and program refers index, and index starts from 0. Right? We write a program where we refer index, and index starts from 0. तो काउंटिंग अगर 0 से स्टार्ट होता है तो साइज -1 करना पड़ता है इन अ प्रोग्राम. Algorithm never talks about index. So algorithm will always say first element. It will never say 0th element. And that's why here, or inside your algorithm, everything will be 1, 2, 3, 4 up to max. When you implement this algorithm in a program, you will take care of that -1. Okay? Yeah, so this is how we traverse. And when you write code, or let's say when you write pseudocode, you simply write it something like for I equals to 0, I less than n is nothing but upper bound, and I'm going to access this entire array I plus plus. And inside that, अगर आपको process की जगह print करना है, then you simply printf %d. What you do is you access your array and the ith element. Done. So this is a printing process. Printing is actually going to traverse. So very simple. Now this means in step number 3, when I say apply process, you can print it, you can count it, you can compare it. Anything we can do at step number 3. बाकी जो है ऐसे ही रहेगा. So now let's have some exercises. What if I want to apply some process, and that process may be, let's say I want to count number of students based on condition. So let's understand. Assume that there is an array called marks having enough size to store your data. So I'm not defining any size at this place right now. Consider it capital N. Okay. So you have an array called marks of enough size to store your data, where index of the array specifies the number of the student. Index of the array specifies the roll number of the student, and value of that element defines the marks obtained by that student. So if you say marks of 4 is equals to 78, then you can interpret this thing something like roll number 4 student has obtained 78 marks. Okay. Now with this assumption, go for the first exercise. It says find total number of student. Remember, number of student. So you just need to count all the students who have secured 80 or more marks. आपको ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स को काउंट करना है जिसके मार्क्स 80 या 80 से ज्यादा हो. Fine? I'll give you 3 minutes. Try to write your code. I'm not saying write algorithm. You can write directly a code. I'll accept it. So just have pen and paper and try to write this pseudocode or code. I don't want entire program, which means hash include stdio.h, void main, ये भी लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Directly go for loop. Consider your entire array is full, means total n students you have, and you have stored all the marks in the entire array. Do it. Online students will also do it. Try to write your code in some paper. When we discuss, you can compare your answer. Okay, one student has completed, fine. Okay, now look here. So this is the code I've written just before this slide. This is how we traverse and print the entire array. So we write a for loop, I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and we print it. Now instead of printing that thing, I want to perform something else. And if that something else requires multiple statements, then I should go for curly bracket, right? If I do have multiple statements inside a loop, then this curly bracket is compulsory. Okay, so now inside this for loop, what we need to do is we are going to count students. So we need counter cnt equals to 0, and I'm going to make it cnt plus plus. So I'm going to count the number of students. based on some condition. So we need to have if, some condition we need to go for, and what that condition is, if those marks obtained by the students are greater than or equals to 80, then we are going to make count plus plus, and we can have all these marks from our array. It is actually marks array, and we are going to traverse that array using I, and done. So once you are done with the entire for loop, you can print your counter, and that is going to give you the number of students. Right? Any question? Any doubt or any question till now? Okay, then we do have one more exercise. Print the roll number, which means actually you need to print index value. Okay? Print the roll number means you have to print I and marks. So A of I and A of I, both you are going to print based on some condition. So what is that condition? For all the students who have got distinction. Well, when I say distinction, then we need to define what do you mean by distinction? Right now, let's say if total marks obtained by the student is greater than 85, or let's say equals to 85, then it is distinction. Because we have total marks here. Total marks can directly give you the percentage, and based on a percentage you can define distinction, first class, second class, and so on. So very basic. Instead of 80, you need to have 85, and instead of counting the students, okay, we are going to print. What are we going to print here? Printf percentage %d, that is the placeholder for roll number, colon percentage %d, because right now we have integer array, otherwise it can be float, then percentage %f. So that's the marks of the obtained marks by the student, and let us have /n, so new student will be printed on the new line. And then first is going to be I, second is going to be marks of I. That's it. This is the second exercise. But as you can see, we haven't changed anything in the for loop. That's what the traversal process is. That's how we traverse the array. Okay? So few basic exercises to understand traversal of entire array. Next is, if you know how to traverse, you can also perform search operation. One type of search you might have already done in previous semester, and that is nothing but linear search. You traverse your entire array starting from first element to last element. Every time you compare that element with the required value, आपको जो चाहिए वो है या नहीं. अगर नहीं है तो आप आगे बढ़ोगे. अगर आपको वो वैल्यू मिल गई, then you stop there. आप बोलोगे found that value and I'm done. And that's nothing but the linear search. Now there is one more process called binary search, and we are going to have a look at that binary search in unit number 4 for MU students. GTU students are going to learn it in MU unit 5. Doesn't matter, we have few changes. But later on, we are going to have a look at binary search process also. A binary search has a prerequisite. you can apply binary search only if your data is sorted. If your data is sorted. Yeah, that's correct, Om. So that's a prerequisite. If you have sorted data, only then you can apply binary search. Otherwise, binary search will not work. So that is one constraint, and that's why which should we use from these linear search and binary search? हमें कौन सा use करना चाहिए? It depends on the values. Now, when I say depends on the value, so one point, if you have sorted data, only then you can apply binary search. Otherwise, you have to go for linear search. Second point, if you have less amount of data, then you may go for linear search. But when you have large amount of data, and if it is sorted, you must go for binary search. Binary search has a less time complexity compared to linear search. Binary search जो है, अगर आपके पास बड़ा डेटा है तो वो जल्दी रिजल्ट देगा आपको compared to linear search. Okay, so the amount of data will also matter. अगर लेस नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स हैं आपके पास तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आप कुछ भी अप्लाई करो, सॉर्टेड है नहीं है, लीनियर बाइनरी कुछ ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. बट इफ यू हैव लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा विच इज सॉर्टेड, then definitely binary search will work better than linear search. तो linear search तो हम अभी देख लेते हैं, because we all know how we can linearly traverse the array. Binary search हम बाद में देखेंगे when we consider unit number 4 later on, because that unit also consists of the algorithm to sort your data, sorting algorithms, bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, and so on. So we will see those sorting algorithms in that unit. अगर sort करना आपको आता है तो उसके बाद आप binary search भी apply कर सकते हो. Fine. Let's focus on linear search right now. Again, we want to traverse, तो for loop तो same रहेगा. For I equals to 0, I less than n. Let's consider this n is nothing but the maximum size. We go for I plus plus. Now at this place, just a minute, let's say for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now I define that n here as a constant. Now this is preferable way. Let me tell you why. Let me give you one example. अगर आप हार्ड कोडेड 5 लिखते हो पूरे प्रोग्राम में, तो जब आप एरे डिक्लेयर करोगे तो साइज लिखोगे इंटीजर ARR ऑफ 5. जब आप लूप लिखोगे तो आप 5 लिखोगे. Now when you go for scanning, you have a loop. When you go for printing, you have another loop. When you go for searching, you have another loop. हर एक जगह पे आपने 5 लिखा and you have done your entire program. थोड़ी देर के बाद मैं आऊंगा और मैं बोलूंगा 5 का एरे नहीं, मुझे 10 का चाहिए. What you will do? आप जाओगे पहले यहाँ पे 10 करोगे, प्रोग्राम में यहाँ पे 10 करोगे, प्रोग्राम में यहाँ पे भी 10 करोगे, लेकिन यहाँ पे भूल गए. लंबा सा प्रोग्राम था, एक जगह पे छूट गया. यू रन योर कोड, डिजायर्ड आउटपुट नहीं दिखेगा आपको, एंड यूल पैनिक. भाई क्या हो गया है, सर ने तो एक चेंज दिया और मेरा पूरा प्रोग्राम गया. Because we have to reflect that thing at multiple places, this kind of problem occurs. And to overcome this problem, what we do, we never hard code these sizes like this way. We always go for constant n. Now your entire program will consist of n. मैं 5 को 10 करने को बोलूंगा, आप क्या करोगे? You will go for one place change only, and it will be reflected in your entire file. Okay, so whenever you have some constant values, always define it and then use that macro. This is called macro, right? Defined constant. Well, so that's how we actually go for the entire code, and this is what I prefer. When you start doing your programs in lab session, go for it. So we have an array and we have for loop, and what we want to do here is, let's say user ने एक value भी दे दी आपको, we want to search it. यूजर के पास से लोगे, यहाँ पे मैंने हार्ड कोड कर दिया val equals to 5. You will go and scan that value. Okay, so what we need to do here is we are actually going to compare each and every element of your array with required value, and you will say whether it is equal or not if condition. And this is what we want actually. Now generally आप क्या करते हो? Okay, if it is equal, you will print found, else you will print not found, right? Printf statement and found not found message. But here we have one problem. If you run this code, I equals to 0, I equals to 0, array of 0, compare it with value. अगर वो equal नहीं है, then it will print not found message. So on your output screen, you will have not found message. And then you will iterate this loop, I plus plus. So I will be incremented 1. Array of 1, compare it with value. अगर वो equal नहीं है तो दूसरी बार आप print करोगे not found. I plus plus, third element. You compare your third element with value. If it is equal, तो आप if के अंदर जाओगे, you will print found message. But we do not stop this process. हमने इस process को अभी तक stop नहीं किया है. We haven't used break statement. तो ये loop तो चलता रहेगा. I plus plus. अगर value नहीं मिला, again it will print not found. And so on. So you'll have number of messages, more than one message on the output screen, and that's what we do not want here. हमें ये नहीं चाहिए. Now why this happens? Because we are printing our message inside a loop. लूप के अंदर प्रिंट किया तो एक से ज्यादा बार लूप चलेगी, प्रिंट भी एक से ज्यादा होगा. Now, so simple रेमेडी फॉर दिस, भाई ये प्रिंटिंग वाला जो कोड है वो लूप के अंदर नहीं, लूप के बाहर होना चाहिए. बाहर निकालो. सो अब मैं बोल सकता हूं कि ये प्रिंटफ स्टेटमेंट जो है वो एक ही बार चलेगा और एक ही मैसेज आपको मिलेगा, फाउंड या तो फिर नॉट फाउंड. बट वी आर गोइंग टू कंपेयर ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट. तो फिर आप ये बोलोगे कि भाई ये इफ कंडीशन जो है वो बाहर नहीं हो सकता, इट मस्ट बी समवेयर इनसाइड द लूप. वो इफ कंडीशन तो लूप के अंदर रहना चाहिए. एरे ऑफ आई शुड बी कंपेयर्ड विथ वैल्यू every time. So when we are going to print our message, condition ये नहीं रहेगा. it will be having some different condition. And inside this for loop, okay, inside this for loop, you are going to perform this condition, and based on this condition, you are going to perform something. Now here comes, at one place you are performing your test, and at other place you are reflecting your answer. फोर लूप के अंदर टेस्ट किया, फोर लूप के बाहर हमने प्रिंट किया. Now somehow we need to link these two. एक जगह पे मैंने कुछ परफॉर्म किया, दूसरी जगह पे उसको रिफ्लेक्ट करना है. इट्स समथिंग लाइक कि भाई आप फर्स्ट रो पे बैठे हो, आप कुछ प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, सर्चिंग या ऐसा ही कुछ मान लो, और वंस यू फाउंड और नॉट फाउंड, आपको ये स्टेटस जो है वो आपके फ्रेंड को बताना है हु इज सिटिंग इन द लास्ट रो. आप फर्स्ट रो पे बैठे हो, आपका फ्रेंड लास्ट रो में बैठा है, आपको जो आंसर मिला वो आप अपने फ्रेंड को बताना चाहते हो. अब यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू लीव योर प्लेस, आप जहां पे बैठे हो वहीं पे बैठे रहो. व्हाट यूल डू, आप कुछ सिग्नल, इशारा करोगे. दैट्स व्हाट वी डू इन एग्जाम. फर्स्ट आंसर, सेकंड आंसर, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. What you are doing, you are sending a signal in terms of yes or no. That's what we want right now, yes or no. So that's something like waving a flag. If it is positive, I'll wave my flag. If it is negative, I'll do nothing. Now here comes the fundament of flag, using flag. In your C program, flag is nothing but a variable. Initialize it with 0. 0 मतलब false. फ्लैग नीचे पड़ा है, मुझे आंसर नहीं मिला. जैसे ही आंसर मिलेगा, आई एम गोइंग टू वेव इट, सेट इट 1. 0 से 1 कर दिया. सो आई वेव दैट फ्लैग, और जो लास्ट रो में मेरा फ्रेंड बैठा है उसको पता चलेगा, यू फाउंड इट, ओके. सो लास्ट रो में जो फ्रेंड बैठा है वो क्या करेगा, वो फ्लैग को चेक करेगा. सिंपल. इफ योर फ्लैग इज 1, देन यू फाउंड इट. इफ योर फ्लैग इज 0, not found. And once you found your required data, you are going to break it. Break your loop. एक वैल्यू मिल गई, डन, मुझे आगे कुछ चेक नहीं करना है. So we are going to break our loop inside if condition, and this is the final code of linear search, which will simply print one message, either found or not found. Okay, and one more thing. Look, this is not the only example where you use flag. Understand why we use flag. एक जगह पे ऑपरेशन किया, दूसरी जगह पे उसका आंसर चाहिए, then you can use flag. अगर flag का status true or false है, तो it can have 0 and 1 value. You might need few more status. Not started, started, paused, completed. तो 4 वैल्यू चाहिए. फ्लैग की जगह पे जो भी है आप स्टेटस नाम दे दो. स्टेटस 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 means not started, 1 means started, 2 means paused, 3 means completed. So this is how you can use variable to store some status, and that status can be referred at any place. Okay. Well, so this is the linear search, and as I told you, binary search we will see in upcoming units. So that's what the searching process is. Next one, let us consider insert operation. For example, let's say we want to insert an element inside the array, existing array. We want to insert a new element, new data in already existing array. For example, let's say you have an array of size 5. So index will be from 0 to 4. And let us assume we have 3 values inside that array already, 11, 12 and 13. And user says add 20 inside this array. एक नया data 20 हमें store करना. Now this is not a complete information. The remaining part is, where do you want to insert 20? 20 डालना है, लेकिन कहाँ पे? Starting में, बीच में, last में, where? So based on that, we have different cases here. The simplest and easiest case is insert at the end. Last में already आपके पास जगह खाली पड़ी है, आसानी से डाल दो नई वैल्यू, डन. अगर जगह खाली नहीं है तो आप मना कर दोगे, भाई array is full, I cannot insert this thing. So very simple one. If you want to insert a new element at the end, what you will do is your upper bound is always going to tell you where is your last element. Okay. So you simply increase your upper bound by 1, and wherever your upper bound is pointing to, you store the new value. But you need to go for one condition. Let's say if you have array of 10 elements and you already have 8 elements inside, तो आपके पास 2 जगह खाली है, आप 2 वैल्यू स्टोर कर पाओगे, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट अगर ऑलरेडी 10 एलिमेंट आपके पास है, देन इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. सो in real world you should check this condition. Otherwise simple insert करना है, then this is the algorithm that you can perform. Increase your upper bound, set the value, and you are done. Okay. If you want to perform those conditions, then वो if condition इससे पहले लिखी जाएगी. And in that case, you will have different steps. Step 1, 2, 3, those conditions, and then this will be something else. Let's say 4, 5, and 6. But we don't focus on that right now, because we know how we can write those conditions and we can perform it. So this is very simple. Inserting a new element at the end of the array. Last में insert करना है. Simple one. What if you want to insert a new element somewhere in between? अगर आपको वो नया एलिमेंट स्टार्टिंग प्लेस पे या तो फिर सम गिवन पोजीशन 2, 5, 10 somewhere, if you want to insert new element at some given position, तो आपको क्या करना होगा? Look, whenever you have any kind of definition problem or program given to you, always go for a step-by-step process. सबसे पहले आप ये देखो, what do you have and what do you require. आपको कितना डेटा दिया गया है और कितना डेटा आपको चाहिए होगा, पहले ये क्लियर कर लो माइंड में. वंस यू हैव दैट पिक्चर क्लियर, उसके बाद आप ये सोचो कि आप कैसे उसको परफॉर्म करोगे. सोचो, लिखने को नहीं बोल रहा हूं. यू थिंक अबाउट व्हाट शुड बी द प्रोसेस. How am I going to solve this problem? Once you are clear with that answer, only then you start writing your code. पेपर पे लिखना है, कंप्यूटर में लिखना है, कहीं भी करना है, कुछ भी करना है, इतना माइंड में क्लियर हो जाए, only then you start your int main, integer I, A, B, C, जो भी करना है बाद में करो. Well, that is actually going to increase your thinking power. It is going to increase your logic and it will increase your coding speed. आप अगर पहले से क्लियर हो आपको क्या करना है, तो जब आप कोड करने बैठोगे फटाफट लिखते जाओगे. And that's what the process everyone follows. When you have a new problem given, you should follow this process. Maybe in upcoming semesters you will have one subject, software engineering, and in that subject you are going to have a look at multiple phases of development of the software. Okay, so what we do here, we are first going to identify what we have and what we require. So array नई value डालनी है at a given place. We need one array, capital A. We need new value. We also need a position where we want to insert it. So we need POS. Along with this, we need one more data, the offset of last element. आपका array 10 एलिमेंट का है, लेकिन एग्जिस्टिंग उसके अंदर 8 वैल्यू है. ओके, एग्जिस्टिंग यू हैव 8 वैल्यूज. तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि कितनी वैल्यूज एग्जिस्टिंग प्रेजेंट है. 8. यू नीड दैट 8. right? So let's take one example right now. We will see this algorithm in the next lecture tomorrow. But let us consider one example. So we have an array, capital A. We need a new value to be inserted, 15. Okay, I want to insert 15. कहाँ पे insert करना है? So we need position, second position. Inside my array, I want to insert this new value 15 at position 2. But along with that, चलो मेरा जो array है वो तो 5 size का है. But how many values I have at present? I need that offset, and that offset is 4. So that tells me कि भाई मेरे array के अंदर right now I have 4 values. I do have 4 values inside my array. So you have 4 values, 18, 17, 19, 14. Okay. But if you do have 4 values, then indexes will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. And array elements you can access by marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3, and so on. Fine. So that much amount of data we have now. So this is where your capital N is pointing to, which is 4. This is where your POS is pointing to, which is position 2. And that's where we want to insert a new data 15. ये हमें करना है. But to insert 15 at second place, अगर मैं डायरेक्ट डाल दूंगा तो 17 ओवरराइट हो जाएगा. I lost that data. ऐसे तो नहीं डाल सकता मैं, डायरेक्टली नहीं डाल सकता वहां पे. I need to make some space before I insert it. अगर सेकंड प्लेस पे मुझे 15 इंसर्ट करना है, देन सेकंड प्लेस पे मुझे जगह बनानी पड़ेगी 15 को रखने के लिए. Once I have empty space, I can insert that value. Now to make that space, what we will do is we are going to shift all the elements to the right side. 14 को right side लेके जाओ तो वहां पे एक जगह बनेगी. 19 को वहां पे लेके आओ तो 19 के पास एक empty space बनेगा. 17 को वहां पे 17 को वहां पे लेके आओ. So at the place of 17 you have empty space, and that's where you wanted empty space. तो उस जगह पे आपने नया डेटा डाल दिया. Okay, what we have done is we have shifted all the elements from given position up to last element. 2 से लेके 4 तक जितने भी एलिमेंट्स थे, सारे एलिमेंट्स को हमने एक एक स्टेप राइट साइड शिफ्ट किया. ओके, सो वी कैन हैव सम एम्प्टी स्पेस टू इंसर्ट 15. हमें ये प्रोसेस करना पड़ेगा. So when you go for insert or delete operation on array, you need to perform some shifting operations, and that actually creates overhead. आपको एक extra process करनी पड़ती है. That is one disadvantage or drawback of array, and you can overcome this problem in linked list. Linked list में कुछ shift नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Well, let's focus on this thing again. We shift all those elements to the right side. अब पहले आप 17 को शिफ्ट करोगे या पहले आप 14 को शिफ्ट करोगे? 14. Why? 17 को अगर मुझे शिफ्ट करना है राइट साइड, तो राइट साइड में 19 ऑलरेडी पड़ा है, उसको हटाना पड़ेगा. ओके, 19 को अगर राइट साइड हटाना है तो वहां पे 14 ऑलरेडी पड़ा है, उसको भी हटाना पड़ेगा. सो फर्स्ट स्टेप वी हैव स्टार्टेड विथ शिफ्टिंग 14. मतलब हमने लास्ट एलिमेंट से शिफ्ट करना स्टार्ट किया. यू विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द लास्ट प्लेस एंड यू विल कम इन अ बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन. तो आप कैपिटल N से स्टार्ट करोगे अपना इटरेशन, traversal process, but this is going to be the reverse traverse. So आपका ITR जो है वो माइनस माइनस होता चला जाएगा. कहां तक? Up to the required position. When your eye reach up to the position, you stop. आपकी जगह बन गई, नया डेटा डाल दो उसके अंदर. Well, so that's what the entire process is. We will stop here for now. And in upcoming lecture, we are going to see the algorithm of insert, and then we'll go for further operations like delete and merge. So that's all. Thank you everyone. Thank you for being part of this session here. I'll suggest that you at least practice few of these programs at your own. Try to write these programs in a C language. Practice it. Fine. Thank you. You may leave now. Present students, please give your number in a page. Online students, you need not to type your number as long as I'm going to extract attendee report from WebEx.